Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me, and welcome to this reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for love. So everything about love we're going to talk about today. I pre-picked these cards in January. I don't know when you're watching this, so this is a full twin soul love reading for all of 2017, whether you are with your twin soul or soulmate or not. And this will help you deal with that relationship, bring that relationship in, figure out how to manage the circumstances. All I'm reading with is the higher arcana, so this higher arcana is going to provide you deep information about how to conduct yourself and how to connect with your partner. And hopefully you can come back to this reading throughout 2017 and gain some perspective. Higher arcana are kind of highbrow pieces of information, things to do with larger themes and real strong messages. So these reverberate through various different energetic kind of qualities and will give you some really deep insight, hopefully, and really help your love grow. Okay, so the first cards that I want to show you guys are these 3 oracle cards. The first card is from the Journey of Love Oracle. So loving all that is. So I think that this is a reminder to love the complete connection with your partner, from all the highs to the lows. We all are not perfect, and so it's important for us to love each other totally, including the imperfections. Our society encourages things like divorce and moving on from circumstances that are unbecoming, but I think we're getting a little bit sensitive in that direction, and so I think that we're moving away from committed partnerships. And remember the times when you weren't perfect, so that you can maintain healthy relationships with people, and make sure that you're not choosing unhealthy relationships just to stay with them. But if you are feeling as though this is a good message for you, really connect with all the aspects of your partner. Think about all that they bring into the situation, all that they represent, including the highs and the lows. And without the bitter, the sweet wouldn't be so sweet. And so it's important for you to remember that throughout this year. The next message is from the Universal Love Oracle. And so here we have the message of forgiveness. So I do think that for Gemini, there is some type of issue that you are working your way through. Now, when I place these oracle cards, it's just because of space. It's not like this part resonates with your partner and this part resonates for you. It's just space. So we have the message of forgiveness. And so forgiveness here is really telling you that this is the time for you to forgive, but don't forget. I'll never become a doormat for people. Really embrace the lessons and the information that people are bringing into your life without being too negligent as to the impact of those lessons on your own behaviors and experiences. But it is important for us to forgive the little indiscretions that come up. The last message is from Doreen Virtue's Romantic Angels, which we love so much. Past life relationship, boom. There you have it. Gemini's working through some karmic bonds. If we take a look at the reading that I just did for January, it really starts off with a bang in January. So you have known each other before. I would suspect that many of you have fallen into relationships really at the beginning of 2017 or maybe at the end of 2016, but somewhere in there is that love relationship blooming. This resonates for you deeply when that person speaks. It reminds you of something that you have maybe gone through or something that you have in some way feel like you experienced before. Here is the message from for the both of you. This is where you start off the year, the first energy for you and your partner, which is the Moon, which is actually the best card you could get if you are in some way separate from your partner. If you haven't met your twin flame or soulmate yet, you feel as though you are connected, and throughout this whole year you will feel that real natural connection. This will really help and guide you to them. There is a lot that's going on in a subtle way in terms of dreams or beliefs or visions even. So if you're having visions or if you're seeing something if you are seeing something, if you're having visions and seeing things, then you are being guided by the moon. There's also a suggestion here that there's a certain level of confusion. So with the moon, there's always a lot of information that is coming in through various different channels. And so here with the past life relationship and the moon, I really do think that maybe some of the experiences that you are dealing with have resonance within past lives. And I think that if you are feeling that somebody has wronged you, then it's really important. The most important thing in a relationship, a soulmate relationship at this time, in this lifetime, is if you feel as though there is an imbalance in that relationship. Let's say that something has happened in the past between the two of you in a different lifetime. Or maybe the narratives are somehow aggressive to one another, the narratives that you bring into the relationship. Then you need to align yourself with the most helpful and healing energy so that that relationship can heal. And it's really important that you disconnect yourself from the desired outcome, such as, you want to form a bond, a permanent bond, etc. You have to be willing to let that person go, which is not what I'm saying about your relationship, but you have to be really open-ended about where that relationship takes you so that you can fix anything from a past life and forgive, because forgiveness is the greatest present you give, not only to your partner, but also to yourself, because in that way, for an infinite amount of times, your relationship will be mended. And if you're thinking about past life and future lives, then this is the holism of the perspective that you need to bring in. Also, your partner needs to do the same thing. This is the starting point. There's a natural attraction and a kinetic connection between the two of you at the beginning of the year. If you do know each other, there will be a sensuality there. If you don't know each other, you might be feeling that sensuality really resonate deeply through you. The next message is these two messages. If you haven't watched my December video from 2016, these two messages resonate as your ideal situation within a relationship. So this is what you are hoping for in terms of your relationship with your partner. So here we have the devil. So in this case, the devil does represent structure and order. And this can make sense, especially if you're dealing with a past life relationship. So you may want to end the moon. So you might feel at this time that you really need very specific rules and specific agreements between yourself and your partner, and you need those things to happen in a way that's suitable for you. The devil can also represent a need to break bonds with unhealthy patterns. So maybe your partner at this time is connected with someone else, and maybe you are hoping to have that bond in some way you're waiting for that to change, that circumstance to change. Maybe you and your partner are somehow caught in some type of circumstance that is unbecoming to either one of you, and maybe this is the year in which you really allow some forgiveness and healing with regard to long messages from far long ago and from other lifetimes. The next message, Gemini, is... So here we have the Emperor here. So this is, you're looking for a stable, ensured leader, someone who is consistent. You're also hoping, if you resonate with the Emperor as your own card, excuse me, then you're hoping to be that Emperor yourself. So I think that you're interested in power. You're interested in structure and order. You're interested in getting things done, working within the real physical plane, alongside money, alongside resources. Excuse me, gaining strength and prosperity for yourself in that area of your life. You're looking for someone to complement you, to be your foundation, your anchor. No, that's kind of a negative. A rock to lean on. And so you're really looking for that in your partner. If you do know your partner, this is a time when you might be getting very physical with your partner, initiating a lot of physical contact. And if you don't don't know your partner, you might be more attuned to feeling that. In fact, you have Pluto in transiting your 8th house. So 8th house has to do with sex, and Pluto in the 8th house is very powerful in Capricorn. So at this time, Gemini, you have this kind of need to connect sexually, and so there is that deep insistence within you to do so. If you have your partner, then you will initiate a lot. But if you don't know your partner, then you'll have that yearning in a physical way very strongly at this time and throughout the whole year. Now we're taking a look at what your partner is looking for and what your partner needs. So your partner is looking for a drastic change. This is a really powerful card to get in terms of ideals for a relationship. Excuse me, let me clear my throat a little bit. Sorry about that, winter season. So anyway, your partner is in some way really needing an abrupt change, and maybe your partner is the one who needs to do the forgiving. If you've done something, which this could actually represent that you've done something towards your partner, then maybe this is a time in which you're really needing to take care of and nurture your partner because they are abruptly shaken by what has happened. This could mean that there's been a certain level of deception in your relationship, and so this could have disrupted your relationship and ruined things for you. The Tower also resonates transformation, change, shock, and awe. Maybe your partner needs that kinetic connection. The Tower for relationships really says and signifies that something that hasn't been there abruptly shows up, and suddenly you are connected, and suddenly you are reconnected, and suddenly you are with each other again. The next message is... So your partner is looking for the Empress. So either your partner wants to be a mother or wants to be the wife or wants to find a wife or a mother, depending on your orientation. So in an essence, there's a strong connection here. You really want the Emperor, or you want to be the Emperor, or you want the Emperor, or they want the Empress, or they want to be the Empress. So maybe at this time there's this kind of deep resonance and connection and a visceral need within the both of you to connect with one another. This is a whole reading for 2017, and so for you this might be a really kind of abrupt time. Now in terms of readings, these cards are very kind of intense and powerful. You can see that right there, and this card from Doreen Virtue, the past life relationship, really signifies that I think that the things and the changes that you are working through this year, both you and your partner, are going to have very deep impacts on both of you. And you are going to feel very, very moved and very shaken by the things that are happening around you. I think that the Tower is, a sudden transformation. Love at first sight is the Tower. So maybe at this time, there's this kind of throwing caution to the wind by your partner. They're really trying to, maybe getting frustrated that they haven't met you yet, and in a certain way making decisions that are not helpful to them in terms of relationships. Or maybe something has shaken them up and now they are trying to pick up the pieces and find you. If you are in a relationship, this could actually signify that there will be some volatility between you and your partner. The best way to deal with something like the Tower in this position would be to allow your partner to make the choices that they need to in order to make their circumstances work for them, and encouraging them to love all that is within you as well, both the highs and the lows, okay? And so this does signify that all these cards, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this one, all the cards really actually signify that this year it does look like you are going to be dealing with some big time issues, and those big time issues will be resolving things that you haven't dealt with in the past. So bringing the past into the present and healing it for the future. Here is a card that represents, well, that was so funny. Here is a card that represents where you are going next. So this is kind of the interim in terms of your decision making and change. So you have the World. I think that when things don't work out for you, Gemini, you have Jupiter in your 5th house. You have a tendency to connect with alternate opportunities. That doesn't mean other relationships. It's just you might direct your interest into a hobby or some new idea or direction. So you might be letting go of things in the past and really kind of breaking away in order to find success for yourself in other directions. So the World represents success, promise, hope, and opportunity. All those directions are going to give you new perspective on your relationship with your partner. I think that the intensity of the relationship with your partner, whether you know them or not, is going to be really a high point of your life this year, especially with Pluto in the 8th house, very sexual, intense energy. Saturn is in your 7th house of partnerships, so really weeding out everything that's not working, really throwing it on the table and really putting it all out there. And so I think that there's big questions that you have to answer throughout this whole year. Let me show you the charts. You have Saturn here in your 7th house. This is accountability for behaviors, both for yourself and your partner. But life isn't just school. Life is fun, and life is full of hope and promise. And so you need to make sure that you have spaces away from the intensity of this relationship so that you don't fall into depression, so that you don't get anxiety, so that you nurture yourself. And the World says that you have to take this kind of external perspective this year. You really need to make sure that you kind of take your relationship to a bigger level, a bigger lens that you can work through and bring in new perspectives and ideas and basically get some fresh air sometimes. And that's really important for you throughout the whole year. What does your partner need? Now, the side of the heart that represents your partner, whether you know them or not, works in this way. If you know your partner, then this side really tells you how to give them what they need, what will resonate for them, and how you can be a supportive partner to them, how you can be a supportive soulmate. Now, if you don't know your partner, this still works. You can still send them positive energy and focus on the things that are going on for them to help facilitate your reconnection. The next message is... So we have the Chariot, and I think that this is the best card you could have received for this position, given the Tower and your partner's hopes and fears. There's this real kind of overcoming the limitations that the Tower has imposed. This is getting over yourself. If your partner is stuck on something within their own personality, the Chariot is saying that they're willing and able this year to overcome whatever it is that's in their mind that has been in some way limiting, that has been in some way limiting, has been in some way detracting from their success and the possibilities that they may appreciate. The Chariot is a love success card. So I think that in terms of relationships, your partner is going to be lucky, and your partner is going to be able to form the relationships that resonate best for them and for you de facto. So this person is able to overcome whatever is going in their life and act in forgiveness and gain higher perspective for success, and in effect make their way towards you, whether they know you or not. Now, the next two sets of cards are advice cards. What do you need to do, and some kind of food for thought for this year as what to do about this relationship and how to bring it in closer, or how to manage it. So for you, one of the advice is temperance. And this is, again, I really like the cards you're getting for this part. So there's this intensity of emotion and this kind of deep psychic thing that's going on right at the beginning of the year, and then you have this kind of very airy, optimistic, and positive positive energy that's coming up for you in terms of your next step and advice. So, of course, explicitly, the Temperance card is the art card. You need to balance things. You can't take everything on. You can't just forgive everything, of course. You have to balance things and bring out the best circumstance for the both of you. And definitely don't diminish your own boundaries and confidence about things in order to overcome things. That's not going to work. Don't suppress your own feelings, especially with the devil here. Do not do anything that is unhealthy. Make sure that you are temperate with how you are, sorry for the pun, how you are approaching circumstances. Allow those energies to really flow for you carefully. Embrace the world and the opportunity that is around you. The next piece of advice is the Last Judgment. So there is a certain set of decisions that you have to make that I think resonate very deeply with forgiveness. You need to draw boundaries between what you are willing to accept and what you are not willing to accept. Now, for some of you, when you're dealing with a partner who is in some way unable to provide this, the level of companionship that you deserve and that you need, or maybe your partner needs some time to really come around and learn how to be that perfect person. It does not do your relationship any justice for you to back off the standards that you require to live by. And so therefore it's important for you to draw those healthy boundaries, because you don't want to get drawn into unhealthiness. These cards aren't suggesting that at all. I think that in fact this is kind of a learning curve for you, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that you are learning to overcome any types of limitations or any types of energies that cause you suffering within the relationship or suffering in all your relationships, and you and your partner heal each other and heal and grow together. The messages of advice for your partner. Now you can allow your partner to watch this video with you so that they can understand what's going on for you. And so here we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a really wonderful card given the nature of the circumstances. I think that your partner is really able to reconnect and connect deeper with you and see their fortune change and see that fortune transform and bring hope into their life. I think that maybe for some of your partners out there, there was the idea that they gave up on love. They gave up on the hope of having a relationship. And it's 2017 in which they have to recognize that they've met suddenly their soulmate and, oh my gosh, this is true. And now I can forgive myself for giving up. So make sure that you are supportive of your partner, whether you know them or not, in making that connection in any way possible, and overcoming any limiting beliefs or anything that holds them back from reaching that point with you. The next piece of advice for your partner is the Lovers. So again, we have this connection between two partners forming a family. I think that your partner is very intent on forming a loving relationship and a family at this time. Maybe you're the one who's kind of off on your own, doing all these explorative kind of activities, and you're somewhat on a tangent, as they call it, and so maybe you are considering all these different directions, and maybe you are the one who's kind of distracted and making art or kind of exploring past life relationships on your own somewhere. But I think that your partner is like awestruck. They see the Empress, they make the changes that they need to make. Life throws them a bone, and so they see like an increase of opportunity and success, and their orientation is towards family in a big way. Now, I do understand that for some of your partners, this is going to really resonate deeply for brothers and sisters. This could mean that a financial, that's another channel, that there's some type of requirement that is coming through brothers and sisters for your partner at this time. So they may have to spend some time in order to deal with family matters. And so you need to support them in that energy. If you don't know your partner, that's what could be holding them back. The next message is the Death card. So there, at the end of the year, you see this transformation. So the Death card says that there is going to be change, And this change is going to be about letting things go that were unhealthy. So you got 3 of the kind of ominous cards, and I think that it's really important for you to recognize that there is a change of the status quo. We see the Tower, we see the Devil, and we see the Death card. Now remember, these are trumps. They reverberate through different various means. I do think that you're going to be able to put put the past in the past by the end of the year. And I don't think it's going to be a sad process throughout the whole year for you to do so. I think that you're going to transform what you believe about relationships, how you feel about relationships and circumstances, and that you're going to be willing to make that change when it's time, and also allow the opportunity for new things to blossom on the heels of that. The Death card also represents resurgence. Now, I know this is probably like the darkest looking death card out there, but with that, new beginnings are possible, right? So maybe at this time you are making a transformation. Maybe some of you Geminis are involved in another relationship, and in a certain way you meet your soulmate and you get stuck, right? Because you're not the type of person who wants to, two-time anyone. And I think that part of this year will be you figuring out exactly how to let go of someone who might even be quite nice for you, but not exactly a match. Well, this person is like, aha, this is my person, and I'm coming in. So by the end of the year, you will consolidate that other relationship and be prepared to really healthfully move forward with the right person at the right time. I think Gemini, at this time, you are going to feel as though everything is possible. And throughout this whole year, it's important for you to let go of any unforgiving thoughts and beliefs, and understand the circumstances that you are presented with totally, and not expect them to be any different than what they are. Make sure that you are kind of very diligent about addressing issues of adultery. If there's anything to do with adultery or dishonesty, you do not want to facilitate that energy in your life. And I think that for many of you, this is a hopeful reading, especially through your partners. Your partners are going to bring a significant amount of love and caring and nurturing while you set up to take care of limiting thoughts and belief systems and bring forgiveness into your life. Anyway, Gemini, I hope you have a wonderful 2017 and January. Please give me a like for this video, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.